travel hacking is having fun with it. If you are not having fun, if this is overwhelming for you, give it to somebody else, give it to your partner to manage it, but it has to be fun for you. You don't want a second job. Thank you all. Thank you, Stephen, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. So today I'm going to talk about travel hacking and specifically how to travel without burning your retirement savings, right? So there's a QR code if you want to download the slides. I'm assuming that some of you might already have done that. So we'll just jump into the presentation. So little disclaimer, right? This presentation is for educational purposes only. Please do not take any of this advice as a financial decision. Consult your financial advisor before you take any such decisions. So I have a question for the group. How many people here love to travel and want to save money at the same time? I am wondering if I can find somebody who don't. I guess all of us, right? That was kind of like one of my first reasons to start with thinking about travel hacking. Like I want to do both. And it's possible you can do that, right? So before we jump, a little bit about myself. I'm born and brought up from city called Pune in India, which is about 4 hours away from Mumbai. I moved to Texas A&M to study master's in construction management, and I was very fortunate enough to land a job in San Francisco. And I built great things. So that's one of my projects as a construction manager that I built in the Bay Area. Outside of work, I enjoy playing cricket. That's where I'm trying to show my colleague how to actually bowl in a cricket in the office. Then I enjoy working out, cooking, and meditation. So travel, right? I think travel is expensive, even though as much as I love it. Approximately $4,000 to $6,000 are being spent by an average American on travel each year, right? And if you were to actually extrapolate this number for over 15 years, if we are going to retire in 15 years, that number grows to about $12,000 to $15,000. But what if we are to say, what if we are to just save for one trip each year? What if we are to plan one trip in advance by using travel hacking or credit card points and save approximately $3,000 to $4,000? How does it impact our FI number? Well, if you look at it, it actually reduces our FI number by approximately $100,000. But in addition to that, there is a double benefit. If you save those $4,000 for over 15 years, you can actually get additional $130,000 as your part of your net worth. So there's a double benefit to doing that. And this was kind of like why my, clear reason why this makes sense. But a real important part of travel hacking is having fun with it. If you are not having fun, if this is overwhelming for you, give it to somebody else, give it to your partner to manage it, but it has to be fun for you. You don't want a second job. And so I found that for myself, and that's how I digged into it. So in travel hacking, why strategy is important, right? Strategy is important for few things. One is ecosystem benefits. So these credit card issuers have ecosystem benefits that allows you to combine points, transfer points, and maximize the benefit. For example, Chase has a 524 rule that a lot of us are familiar with, which is you cannot get for sixth card approved with Chase if you have five credit cards open in last 24 months. Amex has a similar rule where you cannot apply for the same credit card twice in your life. So because of these constraints, it's important to have a strategy before we get into it. So just to kind of like talk about the landscape, there are 5 key main issuers, which is American Express, Chase, Capital One, Citibank, US Bank. So they hold like a 90% credit card market in the United States. General guidelines for anybody who's thinking about starting into travel hacking is that you want to make sure you always pay your statement balance in full. You try to maintain a score of about 730, maintain a 90-day gap between your credit card applications. And there are actually reconsideration lines for each credit card issuer that you can actually call if you get denied on application. And a lot of people don't know is that you can call them 4 different times before you have to give up. I've had somebody approve me me on the fourth call and say, oh yeah, you got approved because you made your case for why your application makes sense. So you want to use these in case you get rejected. So now getting into the strategy part and sequencing, right? So I've divided this sequence into 3 stages. This sequence has come up by me making a lot of mistakes over the years and learning from the community around travel hacking. So it's in 3 stages. Stage 1 is a beginner stage where you are trying to understand what a credit card hacking looks like. Stage 2 would be business credit cards, and stage 3 would be kind of like advanced or reverse engineering kind of strategy. So for the stage 1, it's really basic. If you don't have any credit card, I highly recommend starting with Chase because of their 524 rule. And Chase Freedom is a no annual fee credit card that you want to get. So you just get into a habit of meeting the minimum spend and paying your balance in full and getting all those habits. But really the second card is the key card, which is a Chase Sapphire Preferred. It has an annual fee of $95, but it opens up a lot of doors to actually use the benefits that Chase ecosystem offers. It has a $95 annual fee, but it's totally worth the 85,000 points bonus that we are currently getting, because Chase Sapphire Preferred allows you to actually use those points 25 times more, actually 25% more. So just that. Second stage is business credit cards. And a lot of us obviously think that, hey, what if I don't have a business? How do I even think about starting business credit cards? And why does it matter before all the other personal cards? Well, the reason is that even if you don't have a business, it's okay. IRS actually considers business owners as an umbrella term, which includes a sole proprietor. A sole proprietor is someone who owns an unincorporated business. So when I say unincorporated, which means that if you are selling anything, you can actually incorporate yourself as a business. For example, you might be doing Facebook Marketplace selling items. You might be doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, Etsy, dog walking. All of this counts. All you have to do is just establish yourself with the IRS. And so the way to do that is you can just go on irs.gov and establish yourself for whatever business activity that you are doing and get an EIN number. What this does is that it allows your business to be established separately than your own personal credit. And so once you do that, all you have to do is maintain your expense receipts for your taxes and then apply for a business credit card. One of the key things why business credit card became an initial part of my strategy was all these business credit cards don't count for the 524 rule that the Chase has. So now you can actually apply for these cards and you would still not get dinged on the Chase rule, which is actually important to multiply the benefits. But in addition to that, the cards 3, 4, 5 that you can see that are all Chase, you can actually combine all these points from the personal credit cards and the business credit cards. And now you have business credit card points, Chase Sapphire Preferred, and you can combine them and you can actually maximize the value or the benefit of it. So card 3, 4, 5 in my list were Chase Sapphire Business Inc. Preferred, Chase Business Inc. Cash, and Chase Business Unlimited. I think the good thing about 2 of these cards is that they don't have annual fee, and then only Chase Business Inc. Preferred has a $95 annual fee, which is okay because the value you are getting out of it in year 1 is a lot. Card 6 is Amex Gold. The reason this card became number 6 for me is because a lot of people just kind of like jump directly into getting an Amex Platinum, but it's important because Amex sometimes has this rule that you will not be approved for the sign-on bonus on Amex Gold if you apply for Amex Platinum first. So you want to get the sign-on bonus on the Amex Gold first and then move on to the Platinum. So that's something to keep in mind. This has a $250 annual fee. However, Amex gives you $240 worth of dining and Uber credit. So if you're traveling or eating out every month, you can obviously use them. And so it always comes at a cost of like $10 a year. But it gives you like a 4% cash back, which is really good. So this becomes a keeper card. Now, why did I choose Chase and Amex to begin with instead of all the other cards? Is because more points means more flexibility. So if you were to just do first 6 cards, it might take you somewhere around 12 to 18 months to get all the cards. And then you would have approximately 365,000 Chase points with the current offers that are going, and then 100,000 Amex points. And then kind of like this is the more flexibility that you get, the better you have options when you're planning your travel. Moving on to the stage 3, this is where you kind of like need to do reverse engineering of what you want out of your credit card strategy. So some people go for premium credit cards like Amex Platinum because they enjoy the lounge benefits, or they want more Amex points that are being transferred to particular airline. Or some people go for Southwest Companion Pass. Some people go for hotel credit cards. And you have to be mindful about using the spaces in your 524 chase rule. Hey, what do I care about? What does my next travel look like? And then reverse engineer from there. So that's why this stage is where you want to kind of like do, a little bit think about doing that. And I have some resources to share of how you can do that later. So how to redeem points for maximum value? Some of the resources that I've found useful is that points.ya. This is really like a tracker. You can put your, starting airport and your destination airport, and you can kind of like understand which points to use optimally to book particular flights. Upgraded Points is actually a very good website which gives you a transfer tool, and it also tells you all the bonuses that you might have when you're transferring your points from either Chase or Amex to these airlines. And then points.me is another tool that you can use. For people who are thinking about advanced strategies, once you kind of like do all this, is a 2-player strategy. So 2-player strategy is really a kicker in this game, because what you can do is that you can use the same sequence I have, but you can refer your partner and get referral points for doing that. In addition to that, once you get to stage 3, which is kind of like the advanced stage, one person can pursue all the airline miles and the other person can pursue all the hotel miles. And then you can kind of like use them and help each other by referring them. Another reason for my strategy that had Chase in the beginning is because of their 48-month rule, where you can actually get the same sign-on bonus after 48 months. So basically, you can start with Chase, maybe move on to Capital One or Amex or Citibank in next couple of years, but then you can again go back to Chase once the 48-month rule is done. So that's kind of like how you can keep the cycle going. That's something I learned after making a lot of mistakes, but yeah. Another thing is that you can actually pay federal taxes by credit card points. And a lot of us think that, hey, I don't want to pay 2% fee. But I just recently got an offer for Amex Business Gold for 200,000 points for a spend of $10,000. And that was just because I had the Amex Platinum and it just popped up on my mail. And so I signed up because I'm paying $200 fee, but I'm getting value approximately out of $2,500. So you kind of like will get to know these once you get into the game. So you kind of like have that ROI thinking in your mind as well. So with all that, right, let's say you do all this, right? You got 1 million points, you're very happy and you want to travel, right? Well, not just yet. You will see that you will come into a very common challenge that the award flights that you're looking for at your destination may not be available all the time. So this is something to keep in mind when you are planning for travel hacking, is that flexibility is key. You want to plan your travel 8 to 10 months in advance. For example, the reason that I applied for Amex Business Gold Card and I got 200,000 points is because I know that my parents are coming next year. I know it's going to cost me approximately 160,000 points. So those points are getting utilized and I paid only $500 for it. So that's how I'm thinking about it a year in advance. And we'll get into an example as well. So just something to keep in mind when you're planning your travel. So just question, does anybody here want to go to Hawaii? Is it on their bucket list? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all of us. Okay, cool. How much do you guys think it cost to go to Hawaii for 2 people? Yeah? $3,500. Okay, $3,500. Okay, we'll go with that. 5,000. Okay, we'll go with that.
You travel in California, I think South.
Yeah. All good comments, right? Let's check it out. I actually did this to figure it out. So the first thing that I would do is that, to make it easy, is that I would kind of like just search, hey, what are the best ways to fly to Hawaii? I would go to upgradedpoints.com. They have step by step, kind of like from each airport, each state, what is the best flight that you can get to Hawaii, right? So then I found out that from San Francisco, Hawaiian Airlines and Alaska Airlines has the best routing. And so I just kind of like looked up how many points am I going to need. I'm gonna need about 30,000 points each way. So for two people, it would be about back and return flight would be approximately 120,000 Amex points. So then if I'm going to Hawaii, I want to stay at a nicer place. I said, okay, let's pick one of the Hyatt resorts. And then I picked Hana Maui, which is I think category 7-star hotel in Hawaii, and see what we can get. So I was looking for dates of next May, and I found this availability. And actually, Hyatt does a good job of showing you what dates require how many points. So you can kind of like look at what are the peak seasons, what are the off-peak seasons. And so I kind of like saw that, hey, it's only 150,000 points, which is worth approximately $3,000 if I were to book that in cash. So I said, okay, I mean, this is kind of like, I would go about it. I would reverse engineer, right? Like, hey, what is it going to take me to get there? And then I would start applying for those points and then plan my travel accordingly. Some mistakes to, avoid along the way. Always set up autopay. Don't carry balances on your credit cards. Don't cancel a credit card. A lot of people do that. Always downgrade. There's always an option to downgrade to another credit card that has no annual fee. So always do that. And don't try to game the system. The system itself has been designed to benefit the users. So you don't really have to do any manufacturer spend. I don't recommend that at all. Sharing some of the resources that I used for somebody who's thinking about beginning this and wants to know how do I get started. 10x Travel actually has a free course that I highly recommend. And I think it might take you 4 or 5 hours to get through it, but it's completely free. It's really good and useful course. Other than that, some of the resources that I've used is that Ask Sebi has a lot of good videos about comparing credit cards. For tracking credit card points, I use Award Wallet, and there is another app called Card Pointers that I recently learned about. And Upgraded Points actually does a great job of step-by-step guides. So I keep looking on Upgraded Points if I'm planning travel to figure out what's the optimal way to get there and how to kind of like book all that. Doctor of Credit actually provides a lot of good credit card offers. So whether it's in branch or it's online, it's a referral. So you want to kind of like go there for that. And points.me allows you to find award flights. So with that, I hope you travel, save money, and have fun along the way.